everyone, and welcome to episode number 32 of the Link Through Social podcast. My name is Paul Wright. Well, we have two guests for you today on the show. Tony Berardo from theberardo.com. Tony is a stay-at-home dad turned entrepreneur and founder of Human Dad. And then we'll have Adrian Nikolov from Hide.digital. That's H-A-I-D-E. And Hide.digital is an organic growth engineering company. I think you're going to enjoy both of these guests today. And once again, we always like to start off the show by thanking everyone that is sharing our podcast, that is liking it, downloading it, viewing it on either YouTube or on the audio platforms where you get your podcasts. Thank you so much. We're really building this Link Through Social community together. Well, we're going to get to Tony and Adrian after this short break.
You've worked hard to build your audience, so why send your customers somewhere else? Introducing white label digital storefronts from TicketPortX. Now you can process tickets, registrations, donations, merchandise sales, and collect valuable customer data directly on your website or custom landing page. Increase brand visibility, create a stronger connection with your customers, deliver a seamless user experience, and monetize your brand with high-converting pages powered by TicketPortX's secure hosting, payment processing, and event technology. Perfect for festivals, conventions, classes, retail storefronts, charity events, sporting events, and even free events. But that's not all. Introducing TicketPortX multi-day events. Hosting a festival, seminar, conference, tournament, or event series. No more manually sending tickets 24 hours later. No more scrambling to issue comps and catch up with attendees. With TicketPortX, everything happens in real time. Sell tickets for multiple events on one page. Create ticket packages across different dates. Manage entire event series from a single storefront. And spend less money marketing multiple links and event pages. One platform, one link, endless possibilities. TicketPortX, powering your brand, your events, and your growth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Link Through Social podcast. Well, we have an amazing guest for us today, Tony Berardo, and his website is theberardo.com. Tony is a stay-at-home dad turned entrepreneur and founder of Human Dad. His mission is simple: highlight the authentic, messy, and hilarious parts of fatherhood while helping others and content creators figure out how to build a brand to make a living as a stay-at-home dad. Tony, what a pleasure to have you on the show today. Welcome.
Pleasure is mine. Thanks so much for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. Before we get started, maybe you can just give us a little bit of background on yourself and how you got here today.
Yeah, sure. So, the quick origin story is I have a background in sales and marketing, and I've worked for Fortune 500 companies pretty much my whole life since I was in my teens. And after moving up the corporate ladder, I had a couple things happen, which I won't bore your listeners to. They can go find me on social and learn more about my story. But short version of it is I got laid off back to back from corporate jobs for reasons that were out of my control. One of them was the company went bankrupt. But during that same week I got laid off, I actually found out I had a tumor in my lung.
Okay.
And thank goodness it wasn't cancerous, but of course they had to go through the whole process of biopsy, and then eventually they removed a portion of my lung just to make sure it didn't spread. So I have a third of my right lung removed. And that process, that anybody that's dealt with anything close to that, the recovery is brutal.
Right.
I'm still recovering from it, and this was a couple years later. So during all this, time that this is happening, of course, I'm questioning my career. Why did I invest so much time, energy, love into these companies, and I just get laid off? And I'm also thinking about my health because, emotionally it just kind of drained on me, right? Because I'm so big into fitness and I thought I did everything right. And then you get hit with this curveball of, again, something doctors don't even know. Why did I get one? I don't smoke. There's no reason that I would get one. So then you just start questioning a lot of things, right? Thankfully, I have a great partner in my life, and, we were able to walk through it. But then all this happened, and literally I get out of the hospital from this recovery after a few weeks being stuck there, and my father-in-law passed away. So now we're just now we're hurt, my wife and I. A lot going on. That's when I was like, there is nothing more important than family. That's it.
Yeah.
And during this process, we're trying to build our own family. We're trying to conceive a child, and we really wanted a kid. It was just us at this point. And after all this happened, I realized I need to figure this out because we're a kid's going to come, right? It's on the
Yes.
way. Within 9, 10, 12 months, we're going to have a kid. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do because there's no way I'm going to work for a corporation again.
No.
And there's some great companies out there, but from my experience, now I got a sour taste. So I need to figure out how I'm going to make money on the side. So I started kind of doing content and working with brands on their social media, creating videos to elevate my social media, so that way I can give value to, guys on not only how to create content but also be a good father. So I started
Yes.
making that content, and it just kind of blew up. 4 years later now, thankfully we're blessed enough to have a daughter that is almost 3, and
Wonderful.
yeah, it's my whole life now.
Yeah,
It's
that's amazing.
I think we all, yeah, I think that I say it all the time, but I think the greatest superpower that we have is gratitude. And
Mhm.
you cannot get gratitude without something really crappy happening to you. So
That's the
that's kind of where
trade-off.
I
Yeah,
landed in my
yeah.
life, and I'm grateful it happened.
Amazing story, and
Mhm.
just so happy to have you here today. You have a podcast. It's called Humanity and Hashtags. And in a world dominated by algorithms and AI, do you think humanity is winning or losing online? Like, what can creators do to keep the human connection alive? This is the
Great
biggest
question.
problem, I think, right now, and I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I kind of, I don't want to say I predicted this, but I always knew that this social media thing was really going to take over our lives, which is why I focus a lot on my podcast about it, where
Mm,
humanity and hashtags is, I always say, where life meets the algorithm.
right.
So I talk to experts about social media, AI, not, parenting, literally topics A to Z. And I think the only problem I see with AI, because there's gonna be a lot of benefits. Like AI eventually is gonna cure cancer. Um,
Yes.
Problem is though, there's only a few companies that are running AI, which means it's up to them if they want to tell us how to cure cancer.
Hmm.
So that's the issue I see: is do we trust these companies to give up trade secrets that potentially could make them a lot more money? And if history has taught us anything, is companies will choose money over humanity
Sadly, yes.
every single time.
Mhm.
Um, you hear all the things about like UBI, and these companies are going to get so big that eventually, they're just going to pay us because we're not going to work.
Right.
AI is going to do everything. Not once in the history of any civilization has the government taken care of its citizens. I mean, look at what we're able to do right now with EBT and food stamps. The only food that you can get through these food stamps, at least in the U.S., is the unhealthy junk food.
Yeah.
So even when we give free goods to our citizens, it slowly kills them. It's ultra processed foods and soda
Yes.
that serve no purpose. Like if the government was like, hey, we're going to give you free food because you're trying to work, you're trying to survive, so you can only use food stamps on fresh produce, fruits, veggies, and your local farmer. Okay, then that to me, the government's trying to take care of us.
For
But
sure.
there is no, there is no, there is no pro. I think of AI. The one issue I see on a macro level with humans like you and I is it is going to strip away purpose. And that is the most terrifying thing, which, especially as a father, I'm trying to instill that even at this age where technology is beautiful, but it is a tool. And
Yes.
I think a lot of people, including parents, don't use it as a tool. And it's going to strip away purpose of these young kids. And it's terrifying because you could have the future Michelangelo, someone who really, but instead of actually reading books and going to school and learning the craft and getting your hands dirty and figuring things out, Well, now you're just going to use ChatGPT for everything. And that is going to slowly drain your love and purpose of things that are tangible that you can actually feel and touch. And in 10 years, I think we're going to have a real problem. So I hope people wake up to that reality soon.
You're absolutely right. And you know, this movement started in
That was such a
Australia.
gloom answer. I'm sorry.
No, no, and we have to take this seriously because, you know, this movement
Yeah,
started
I
in
agree.
Australia last year, where they're banning children under the age of 16 on social media. Now it's going across Europe. Here in
Love that.
Canada, the government has put forward a bill, and like any government, it's going to take some time to come through. But this is very important,
Yeah.
and you hit it on the nail. Like AI, social media, they're tools, and they should be aware of these tools, but there should be some
Yeah.
regulation and protection for our kids as well. So I'm definitely in favor
Yeah.
of this ban, but also to go with it, education. And you're right. Like children are potentially
Mm.
missing out on a lot of different things because they become obsessed with social media and these online gaming um, uh, programs or games or whatever you want to call it, and it's very
Yeah.
concerning. It's very concerning to us. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned becoming a dad.
Yeah, man. As long as we all figure it out, stick together. So,
Well, that's it. You mentioned becoming a dad, and
yeah.
I've read a little bit about you preparing for this episode, and you often talk about balancing entrepreneurship, podcasting, and being a father. How is that
Yeah.
changed when you've become a dad now, and your approach to business and your social media presence? I'd be very interested to know about that as well.
Yeah. For me, it's always about at least my content active. I always try to look at it twofold. Number one is I'm lucky enough to be a stay-at-home dad, right?
Yes.
Where I have multiple businesses. So I have streams of income that are coming from different ways, not just content. Um, so that I think is number one is diversifying. Everyone will say diversify your portfolio. That to me is stupid because I just, as someone who's been in real estate, someone who's in stock market, yeah, that's great and everything, but you're talking like long-term 401k and benefits and Roth IRAs and blah, 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 blah. But
Yes.
like to like make money, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. So I truly believe diversifying your income. Like where is your income coming from? And I always like to have two or three streams of income because if something does happen, at least I got these things going on. And that also gives you a lot of freedom too. So like even if you're working a regular 9 to 5 in a job you hate, what if you like to paint? Okay, well, why don't you paint on the weekends and try to sell it on Etsy? And if you can make a few $100 on the weekend, well, now you actually are like fulfilling purpose and you have a passion for something. You're making money. And then maybe you do that for like a couple weeks, couple months, and you're like, wow, I can actually make a living off this. Well, now you can quit your 9 to 5. So that's what I tell a lot of dads that want to do something different is like you have to start with doing the side hustle and diversifying your income and really try to make money other ways that you really enjoy that gives you fulfillment. And hopefully that eventually will turn into a long-term career path. So I'm lucky enough to where that's what I did from the get-go. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, to balance it, I'm at the point now where I kind of knew this was going to happen, where I was going to be a stay-at-home dad. So now I create content that I'm able to grow a following and leverage that following to get brand deals, make videos for brands, products that I actually believe in. But it's
Yes.
also allowing me to create content at home. And most of my content is about parenting stuff. I'm getting approached by parenting brands, baby products, things that I can actually use on a daily basis. So, and these are also like kind of rewards for my child as well. Like
Sure.
uh, I couldn't tell you, I would probably say $10,000 worth of products over the 3 years that I've got gifted to me,
Mhm.
play sets, trampolines, like all this type of stuff I've been able to accumulate through brand deals and partnerships just by making content. Well, now that's money I saved and now my kid has a bunch of toys and some cool activities to do. So that's just something I really wanted to do, and that was my main focus when I started doing this. And more so, the second fold to that, which is the long answer, but the second fold is I just want to give value to dads because I think dads are really struggling right now for lot of reasons. And I think the biggest reason is society. Society has told us, you know, dads, that we need to work 3 jobs. We need to be the provider. We need to go home and, back in the 70s and 80s, it was like work at the mill or work in the factory.
Yes.
And then, that's like work in the stock market and, be the financial bro. Like then the 90s was like, hey, stock market's the king. Like you need to be in financial district and you need to work hard and wear a suit and tie. And yeah, okay, sure, if that's what you want to do. But it's 2026, man. You can make so much money at home in your PJs with your kid. You just got to find it. You got to look for it. And it's out there. And that's also where I try to create content to give dads that value so that way we can be better fathers. Because I truly believe there's no such thing as a bad dad. It's just an overworked employee.
Yeah.
When you're an overworked employee and you get home at 5:30 p.m., you're not going to be the best dad because you just hated working 9 to 5.
Come home, you're exhausted.
So if you can get rid of that,
Yep.
yeah, man, how are you supposed to be the best dad? And also, too, there's resentment, right? We can go down that route, but the whole idea of like being with your spouse from 5 to like 9 p.m., 4 hours isn't enough with your wife.
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
There's a reason why divorce rates are so high. It's not just because we all hate each other. It's because, you're away from each other. You don't get a chance to love each other and be with each other. And it's the same thing with kids. The reason why most parents don't have a great relationship with their kids is, we have to work so hard to drop our kids off at childcare. So you're not raising your kids. You're letting someone else raise them. And that's no fault of the parents' own. It's just the way governments have laid this thing out, which I won't get into too much. But I just think we have to be better at figuring out really what we want to do and what's the most important and try to work on that.
For sure, Tony. No, absolutely. Now you have your podcast, and for people that want to potentially start a podcast, as we're recording this, I'm actually releasing my 25th episode this week, which is very exciting because let's be frank, a lot of podcasts don't make it past
Congrats.
the first 3 or 4. Based on your experience, what's the biggest mistake a potential new podcaster makes, and what should they really stay focused on to make it a success?
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest mistake is money. You spend money. That's the biggest mistake. And that's true to everything, right? Like, if you want to start a family, you start spending a bunch of money. That's silly. Just don't spend money. Do little things, kind of like what you're doing, right? Like if you're at 25 episodes, great. Maybe make it to 50 and then maybe invest in a new mic or new equipment or a new camera. You want to do things by little steps here and there, because if you spend all this money up front and you realize it's something you can't maintain, well, now you wasted all the money. So I think doing the thing first, making sure you're passionate about that thing, and podcast as best you can. And if you really enjoy it, now maybe at 50 episodes, 100 episodes, invest a little bit more money.
Right.
And the second reason people don't make it is because you quit. You talked about it earlier. That's the key, is you just got to stick it out. And me, I'm in the phase of, I'm almost at 300 episodes, and I've been doing it for a few years, and I love it. Like it's out of the multiple businesses that I have, which right now I manage 3 sources of income that make me money. Mm-hmm. That is the one that is the lowest. On paper, I shouldn't do it because it's time consuming and it doesn't make as much money, but I don't care about the money. I just care about the conversations. As you know, doing this, it's so much fun to connect with people and meet people from all over the world. I mean, here you are, you're in Canada, I'm in the US. I've talked to people in Australia. I've talked to people in the UK, Africa. I just had a dude that interviewed me from Ethiopia. What? Like, it's just so crazy that, worldwide you can talk to folks. It's so cool. So that to me is the great thing. So if you're really passionate about it, I say stick with it. If you're passionate about it and you like talking to people, do it for that. Don't do it for the money, because the money will come or it won't. Whatever. It's like working out. You don't work
Yep.
out because you want a six pack, right? You work out because you feel better and it's healthy for you. Same thing with podcasting. Just stick it out, and it's so rewarding and so fun.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Tony. Um, we have to wrap things up shortly, but before we go, I'd like to just touch on one other thing. We speak every week on the show here, social podcasts, about AI and its emergence and the speed of the incredible rate of speed that AI is developing and keeps learning and learning and learning. AI versus
Yeah.
authenticity. This is the question.
Mm.
People are using AI in certain things to save time, and it's great. But you still, as a marketer or as a coach, you have to keep your authenticity as well. It's a fine line.
Mm.
What's your opinion on AI versus authenticity, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, aside from kind of what I mentioned earlier, I just think you should only use AI the same way you use Microsoft Word,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't use Microsoft Word to write your paper for you. You use it to spell check,
Mhm.
and you use it to, check your grammar and change the fonts. And,
Yeah.
you're not using it to write the paper. And
Right.
I think that's the big problem with AI and authenticity is, don't use ChatGPT to write a paper. Maybe use it to build out a paper. What title should my paper be based off of XYZ, blah, 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 blah. When you have it write your paper, and even studies are starting to show this, even just a couple years into AI, it's literally making us dumber. It's stripping away our cognitive function, the both sides of our brain, where it's literally making our IQs lower by using chatbots. So, and plus it costs money. Like,
Mhm.
it's only going to get more expensive. It's 20, 30, $40 a month, or whatever. Look at where Netflix is. Netflix was $9.99 and now it's up to $30 a month.
Yeah.
Like, in a couple of years, AI is going to be $100 a month, and you're literally paying for something to make you stupid. So we just have to get back to making it as a tool and using it as a tool as such, and we're going to be fine. But once we have it encompass our entire lives, that's where it's going to be a problem.
No, for sure, Tony. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. And once again, to our listeners and viewers, Tony's website is theberardo.com. That's T-G, Berardo, Berardo.com. And we'll obviously include the links in the description for our podcast. Tony, appreciate you taking the time, and I wish you all the best. And enjoy being a
Right.
dad. It's a wonderful feeling.
Indeed. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
Okay, that's Tony Berardo at theberardo.com. And the Link Through Social podcast will be back right after this short message.
Tired of stressing over what to post on social media? Meet Smart Post App, your all-in-one solution to create, schedule, and grow your content effortlessly. In just a few taps, you can generate engaging posts, stay consistent, and keep your audience coming back for more. No more guessing, no more burnout, just smarter content, faster. Whether you're a business owner, creator, or entrepreneur, SmartPost offers both premium and pro plans. In addition, we have new features that have been recently added that include instantly viewing public links to your posts on any network, weekly view allowing you to plan hour by hour, account groups group your accounts to save time and simplify your workflow, and a desktop version which offers a simpler way to stay consistent. Start posting smarter today at smartpostapp.com. Smart Post App, because your content should work for you.
And welcome back to the Link Through Social podcast. Well, we have a great guest for us today, Adrian Nikolov, and he's the founder and CEO of Haida Digital. an organic growth engineering company, 17 years in search. He builds the systems that make businesses findable in Google and inside AI answers SEO, GEO, and AI automation as one machine, not three services. And his website is Haida Digital. That's HAIDE.digital. Adrian, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure
Oh,
to be here.
we're very excited to have you today. And before we get started, maybe you can just give us a little brief um, info about your background and how you arrived here today.
Of course, as you already said it, I have around almost 18 years in search, certified Google expert, doing Google Ads and everything around digital marketing, the new era of search. And currently, I am focused, and my company is focused on building actual AI systems,
Oh,
systems that get brands visible and foundable in the new era.
it is. It's definitely a new era. It's very exciting. For some, it could be overwhelming, and it's. I've been mentioning this a lot on the show lately. It's all about education. People should instead of being intimidated, embrace all this exciting change in technology that we're experiencing right now. So, Adrian, I'd like to get right into it. Why do you call SEO an engineering problem instead of a marketing one?
Right before I started Hide Digital, I did a quick analysis of my work all over the past 17 years. And I've realized that I've been always treating SEO and the related as engineering projects. Every time I apply a new strategy, I try and give it my all to automate as much possible. I am very technical, and I'm a huge believer that technical and creative experts need to stay creative instead of doing manual labor.
Yes, yes.
And 3 years ago, with the shift towards AI, everything got interesting again. Everything that I've built over the years got much easier.
Hmm.
And now, while my developer experience is far lower than my SEO experience, I am a developer now, which
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
the combination that everyone in SEO dreamed about.
Yes, yes. It's true. It's very
Yeah.
true. Now, most CEOs say they use AI, What's the actual gap between using AI and have it wired into the business?
It's context. Pretty much this is the gap. Using AI and treating it as another search engine is a complete mistake and
Yes.
waste of your money. It doesn't matter what plan you have. It doesn't matter if you're using the the the, the open source models. You need to provide the context about everything that you need accomplished. For instance, if you're building a brand, if you want to do it with AI, you need to create a complete system around it,
Yes.
completing a system that understands you and that heals itself, that learns from its mistakes, is all structured around context.
Yes.
And this is by far the biggest mistake. And you mentioned it in the very beginning. People feel intimidated about all
Yes.
of the new user experience. For instance, Cloud Code is running the terminal. Wow, I'm not a hacker, but I
Yes.
can be. I don't know. I don't want to touch that. People feel scared. It's
Hmm.
not scary. It's easy.
Yeah.
You practically chat with the app within um, a different scenarios.
Right.
But
Exactly.
yeah,
Embrace it.
it,
Embrace it. This is what
embrace it.
should.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. Now, there's a new T acronym that's being thrown around a lot: generative engine optimization, or GEO. What does that actually mean, and how is optimizing for ChatGPT or Perplexity different from optimizing for Google?
Generative engine optimization is the actual process of enabling tactics that would get you cited by the large language models such as ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, etc., etc.
Yes.
And how it differs from traditional SEO is by the way people interact with it. So back then, what did we have? We had Google. We type in a keyword there, and we choose a link from the 10 blue links that used to be way much different. And
Yes.
we compare websites, going to the other one, looking at these Nike shoes from that store, comparing the prices there. Right now, you can do it all from one interface.
Hmm.
And you don't need to type in keywords. You just communicate with it, have a really deep conversation so the model understands you and gives you relevant structured information that you may like.
So should businesses be making that shift now? It was always, it's actually going to be a two-part question because I'm very interested to know your thoughts on this, Andrea. Should people be giving up on Google? Number one. And number two, um, should people be more conscious now when they're running their business about being found on a Chat GPT or Perplexity or one of these different servers?
Yeah, never give up on Google.
No.
The other guys feed the information from Google and from Bing.
Yes.
Um, so the way I like to envision GEO and to approach GEO and AEO as it goes by, answer engine optimization. That's
Yes.
the other acronym that's in the fight.
It's being thrown around. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. The way I see it, it's all part of SEO. So SEO is the parent, and everything beneath is
Yes.
the child project.
Yeah.
GEO can't be sufficient without good SEO fundamentals, and that's the beginning of a system that I would build. It's all related to SEO,
Hmm.
enforcing the SEO fundamentals, the technical background, and doing all the the groundwork
Right.
before we start applying any modern strategies in writing and
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you said that because there's some misconceptions here that, you know, because for the average person, there's so much information getting sent out right now about the emergence of AI and that, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and that's why again I think people are intimidated because they're not quite sure, and all these different
yeah.
things are coming at them all at once. So, yeah, for sure. Now, you've been in SEO business a long time. You are automating SEO back in the scrap box, or sorry, the scrape box era.
Yes.
What did that decade teach you that most marketers are only now learning because of AI, the scrape box era?
It taught me a lot. First, my biggest mistakes were made back then. My biggest technical mistakes, and you know that mistakes are the by far the best experience a person can have. But I learned a lot on what can and should be automated and what shouldn't. Pretty much redundant tasks. You study yourself, your workflows. You look out for tasks that you constantly do with delivering the same input and requiring the same output. All of these can be automated and should be automated so then
Yes.
they don't eat your time. As I mentioned, you need to stay creative and handling all of those, email checking, um, writing on the notebook, meeting notes, stuff like that.
It
Just
adds up.
the it adds up. Yeah. And it really drains your willpower. And after a few meetings, you're tired and don't want to get into creativity, or you just can't. Your mind is completely blocked. So that's by far the main lesson that I learned. Mhm.
Yes. No, for sure. It drains your creative juices, it just, but yeah, no, this is what we should be taking advantage of now. Like these types of things that will save us time, will save us stress, so we can be more creative, and that's exciting to me. It really is. Now, what does an organic growth engine actually look like inside the company day to day?
Organic growth engineering is a concept that Hide Digital, my company, was built upon. It
Yes.
is the cohesive combination between SEO, GEO, and AI automation. Practically, as I described it, we begin with all of the SEO fundamentals. When we take a project, we go through a very strict discovery process with the owners,
Hmm.
and we have a lot of questions, and all of them serve to feed us the required context. So afterwards, we can teach the machine everything about this brand, so it doesn't do any errors.
Yes.
So at the latest stage, its output is exactly like the brand's voice and how it was always planned to be, and so we can allow for their teams to be creative. Um, the way it's structured, I already mentioned the discovery process. We provide a growth plan to the brands coming to us, where we tackle the major findings in our diagnostics that we
Yes.
run while in the discovery phase. Of course, then we pitch an offer, and if when we shake hands on the offer, then we
Yes.
begin with the first part of the project. It's called groundwork.
Hmm. Yeah.
In the first month or two, depending on the scope of the project, of course,
Hmm.
we aim to deliver the complete technical technical findings, the complete technical roadmap and fixes to align the website to SEO, to technical SEO best practices, and to have a clear plan and have already created a topical authority map. Now, I can talk a lot about topical authority, but I will just briefly touch
Sure.
ground on it.
Yes,
It's
please do.
Yeah, of course. Topical authority is the thing that matters right now in all of the types of optimization. Neither whether you're optimizing for traditional or AI search, you need topical authority, and this is formed by content. And this content is not only on your website, but it expands towards social media, and it
Hmm.
expands towards communities such as Reddit, YouTube, and it comes back to your brand by all the systems receiving back feedback from what other websites are citing about you. Pretty
Yes.
much creating this this web aware consensus map of
Hmm.
your brand, so it is completely relevant to the topics that this brand must own. And the main output of that topical authority system, it's very complicated. We do very thorough competitive analysis. We scrape search engine result pages,
Nice.
analyze, like we're very, very meticulous. And the output is creating a complete content calendar that will cover all parts of the buyer's journey for that
Hmm.
particular brand. And I'm not talking about blogging,
No,
because
no.
I've seen it. I've
Yes.
seen that misconception
Oh boy.
in yeah. Yes, blogging, for sure. Blogging is a huge part of it, because right
Hmm.
now informational content, it may not get as many clicks as it used to be, but now the goals are much different. Now
Right.
the actual impression, and having your website cited in the AI overview or AI mode, whilst your potential buyer is doing the research in either ChatGPT or whatever he's paying for nowadays, or not
Yes.
paying.
Yes.
Yeah, but getting found there, being visible there, embeds within people's minds, and afterwards, like after the zero click, the so-called zero click happens, they may return to your website by just typing in the URL in their URL bar,
Yeah.
and that's attributed as direct traffic. So many of your listeners check your Google Analytics or Google Search Console,
Yep.
Google Analytics, and see if your direct traffic has grown.
Hmm.
That's a clear signal that you're getting cited more.
Right.
That's on top of my mind tip that I would do first.
100%.
And yeah, So I already said that topical authority expands towards social media. We call it search everywhere optimization right now, because you need to apply the same understanding, you need to paint the same picture about your brand all around the web. So you can create this consensus for the large language models. And AI recommends a brand when the whole internet already agrees on who they are. So that's very important and embedded within the topical authority system creation. So it evolves apart from when we already launch and plan the pages that are going to take place on the brand's website, because this is where it starts. We have several types of automations which expanded and automated directly to social media. And I don't mean AI slop, because you would
No, it
understand.
gets,
We are all
yes. Oh, yeah.
so tired of these
We
type
are.
in clots to see how you can fire your team. No.
Yeah.
There's don't get me wrong, it's not completely automated. We are an AI first company, but we always put the human in the lead, not only
Very
in the
important.
loop. There's always a human in the lead.
Yeah.
And around by month 6, the system becomes almost autonomous. Then the human becomes only in the loop to fact check, to approve all of the content that goes live. Yeah. So the most basic automation I can give you right now, it's newsjacking systems. We found out from several of our projects and tons of research that
Yes.
newsjacking actually moves the needle for SaaS brands right now. So you get a complete feed of all of the news related to the topics you should cover, and you just automatically, so the system rewrites them with your own brand's vision, embeds your brand idea and makes it relatable to the actual news source, and creates a beautiful article while citing the original source. And this happens very, very fast because we work with hundreds of APIs and pull all of the recent data. So the most important thing about news publishing is to be first.
Yes.
In this case, you are second or third or 50th, but
It's true.
it does,
Yep.
it does support your topical authority. It is on point and on par with your brand, and the benefit of having call to actions in your blog articles or news articles is always legitimate, because you may get a lead directly from your informational search.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's an exciting time, and it's fascinating to hear what your company is doing, Adrian. We're just almost out of time, so again, I'll let the listeners and viewers know that it's haide.digital. That's HAIDE.digital. And can we also find you on social media, Adrian? Where can we find you?
Of course, I prefer LinkedIn. You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm a very open guy. You can always reach out, say hi, I have a problem, and I will help you solve it.
Wonderful. So that's Adrian Nikolov, and that's haide.digital. Thank you very much for joining us, Adrian. It was a fascinating conversation, and it's information that we need to get out there to people. And I really appreciate you taking the time today, and would love to have you on the show again in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, that's Adrian Nikolov, and the Link Through Social podcast will be back right after this short break.
Introducing TicketPortX multi-day events. Hosting a festival, seminar, conference, tournament, or event series. No more manually sending tickets 24 hours later. No more scrambling to issue comps and catch up with attendees. With TicketPortX, everything happens in real time. Sell tickets for multiple events on one page. Create ticket packages across different dates. Manage entire event series from a single storefront. And spend less money marketing multiple links and event pages. One platform, one link, endless possibilities. TicketPortX, powering your brand, your events, and your growth.